Major funding for these programs is made possible by grants from Chase Commercial Term Lending, New York Community Bank, Capital One Bank, Perfect Building Maintenance, M&T Bank, Customers Bank, Genova Burns, Terra CRG, Meridian Capital Group, Wyckoff Organization. Additional support is made possible by AKA Hotels Corman Communities, Aerial Property Advisors, AVR Realty Company, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Bank Leumi USA, Briarwood Organization, CBRE, Citizens Bank, Colliers International NYC, Collins Building Services, CPEX Real Estate Services, Cushman & Wakefield, Dime Savings Bank of Williamsburg, Douglaston Development, Levine Builders, Eastern Union Funding, Fisher Brothers, First Nationwide Title Agency, Flushing Bank, Friedman, Handler Real Estate Organization, HAP Investments, Hersha Hospitality, Hodges Ward Elliott, Inc., Investors Bank, James D. Kuhn Real Estate Center at Syracuse University, Kilroy Architectural Windows, Madison Realty Capital, Matone Group, Mercantile Commerce Bank, New Banks, Newmark Grubb Knight Frank, Optimum Window Manufacturing Corp., People's United Bank, Rosewood Realty Group, SJP Properties, Sterling National Bank, Stonehenge Partners, TD Bank, The Continuum Company, The Moynihan Group, and these friends.
Astoria. Nah, Yonkers. I'm gonna Hackley. Football, sports. London, England. Williams. Go again. Travel around the world. Go to South Africa. Go to Hong Kong. I'm gonna come back, I played accountant once. I'm going to do some other things. I'm going to get into real estate. And you know what? I'm going to get involved with unique properties. I'm going to build. I'm going to be a developer. I don't know. I'm going to get involved with reclamation of properties. I'm going to take care of things. I'm going to take these major industrial properties. And I'm going to take care of the community and build some great infrastructure. Today I have Joe Cotter, President and CEO of National Resources. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me about the Scottish people in the family.
No Scottish.
Okay.
Actually, Irish and German.
Right.
My grandfather was a teamster in Long Island City.
So when did your grandfather come over?
He was probably second or third generation himself, so probably in the early 1800s.
Right. That's
on my mother's side.
On your mother's side, and your grandfather on your father's side?
On my father's side, my father was Irish. Him and four brothers were all police, New York City policemen. And his father actually ran a small supermarket in Astoria Square called the Busy Bee. But he died quite early, so my father lost him probably about age 14.
So where'd your father grow up? In Queens?
In Astoria. He went to Long Island City High School.
Was he the youngest of the brothers who went into the police
Actually,
force?
he was. He was a twin and was the youngest of six.
So tell me about how'd your parents meet?
They met, I guess, in Long Island City High School, where he met my mom. My mom was a smart one. She had skipped 3 grades, so she graduated when she was only 15.
Boy.
Yeah.
When did they get married?
About 1955.
It was 1955. They're living in Astoria, and the kid is born, right? You're the oldest?
Yes.
Okay.
Oldest of 3.
Oldest of 3. So you said to me it was great growing up in Queens at that time.
Yeah, I mean the 60s in New York City and Queens in particular was really a golden period. We call it the Wonder Years. A lot of fun, a lot of energy in the streets. Neighborhoods were great. stickball, plenty of sports. Couldn't have had a more happy childhood, thank God.
Did you live in an apartment house? Or did
Two
you-
family.
Who lived in the other family?
Oh, the landlord was Indians from Bombay, so endless
Curry.
people coming through and the
Right.
smell of curry.
Now, where was your dad stationed at the police department initially?
Originally, he was in Greenpoint, and then he went up to the 3-0 in Manhattan North, where he was a lieutenant for about 10 years up there.
How did your parents relocate to Yonkers? What was the decision?
Well, like a lot of families in right around 1970, there was a lot of people leaving the city, moving to the suburbs, whether it was the American dream or whatever, to own their own home. So we moved up to Crestwood in Yonkers.
Now, you're at this time, what, about 10?
Yes,
You're 10 years of age. You're in parochial school.
yes.
But you said you were a hustler. You worked hard. You always did part-time jobs, and you love sports, right?
Absolutely.
So how do you get recruited to Hackley, which was a great school? In
I was very lucky. I was playing Pop Warner football and was able to impress the coach. And, then we took some tests and took the chance to go to a place I never heard of.
So how old are you when you enter Hackley?
14.
So you're 14, which would be, what, the 9th grade?
Yeah, freshman.
So you're a freshman at Hackley. You play football?
3 sports, football, basketball, and baseball.
Which one was your best?
Baseball, but
Baseball.
like basketball the most.
Now, when you're at Hackley, you told me you had some interesting summer jobs, other jobs you were working during the summers.
Just keeping busy, doing a lot of, caddying, newspaper, worked as a waiter or busboy in those days.
Which helped you later on in some of your other careers.
Yes, well, being exposed to the restaurant industry was a great thing.
So now it's time to graduate, and you apply to Williams. How did you decide to go to Williams?
It's a funny story, actually. I didn't know much about Williams, but one of the top people in our class who was captain of the football team, he was going to Williams, so I felt that was a good place. If Russell
If
Russell
the guy
could go
who's
there. Yeah, and his father he'd visited about 100 colleges, so I did it that way. That's the truth.
But before that, you decide to take a year off, right?
Well, I mean, I'd already been accepted to Williams, but they had a program where you could spend a year in England. So I was lucky enough to get a fellowship to go to King's College in Taunton, which is in the West Country of England, in Somerset.
So tell me about the 1 year at King's College.
Real culture shock from going from New York City or a New York metro area in 1970s to go to an English boarding school, which was from a previous century, very strict. It was a great experience, though.
And you played rugby over there.
Played rugby. There wasn't much else to do but play sports.
Now, did you get credit for this year?
Actually, I did, yeah, but I didn't end up using it. But yes, we did. You take what's called A-levels, which are their exams. So I took an A-level in English and economics.
So the year is over, and you come to Williams.
Yes.
And at Williams, what were you studying?
Economics and politics. It was great place, great school.
Now, during that period of time, you and a buddy get a part-time job. How do you end up in an ice cream business?
Well, one summer we started a restaurant called the Just Dessert in Gloucester, Mass., which is in the North Shore of Boston. And we worked there and opened a restaurant that served ice cream. And we were right at a ferry stop in a summer resort and did very well.
Yeah, but you had no experience in this, right? Or this was...
Well, it wasn't that difficult. We called it Junior Achievement, but it was a great challenge. We opened the place in about 2 months.
But how do you go out and build a line of credit to buy even ice cream?
Well, the big break, we got very lucky. We went to a place called West Lynn Creamery, and we said them we were going to make our own ice cream. At the time, if you remember, there was a...
Ben & Jerry's?
Well, it was pre-Ben & Jerry's. There was Steve's in Boston and a few others.
Right, Steve's in Boston.
And he said to me, young man, I'm going to do you a big favor. If you sell our ice cream for the summer, I'll give you the freezers, and I'll give you the first month on credit So it was a very lucky break, and that's what really got the business going.
Now, who was your partner?
A guy by the name of David Tufts, he was a classmate at Williams.
Business was so good, you made more money than you ever expected to make.
Well, I think for a summer we made about $20,000, which in those days was a lot of money at 19.
And now, another year in the UK. What happens then?
Well, my junior year, I went to Pembroke College, Oxford, which was because I had been there, it was easier to get accepted.
And also in economics?
They have a course that a lot of Americans take. It's called PPE, Politics, Philosophy, and Economics.
When you were at Williams, did you have any idea, or did you know anything, especially, your father was a policeman, a lieutenant, family really wasn't in this about real estate. I mean, why did you enter public accounting originally?
Good question. I actually did not have much of a business family background in any way, but there were a couple of people at Williams everyone was trying to get a job on Wall Street. And there was a program that with Cooper's that was really a good financial training. It was broad-based accounting, consulting, and they would pay for your MBA at NYU. So I decided I would do that, for better or worse. But it was fascinating. You learned a lot about all the things you'd never want to learn about, like financial statements and things like that. So it served me well.
So you're now, 23 or 24?
23, yeah.
23. You have a degree from Williams. You have an MBA from Stern School of Business, one of the best schools. And then you say, hey, look, I might as well become an investment banker, right?
Yes, when I graduated from NYU, I took a job with Salomon Brothers in the Ginnie Mae area. I actually briefly carried Lou Ranieri's bag, who was a legend in that area.
Were you a trader at the
No,
Ginnie
I was
Mae?
an analyst in the Ginnie Mae area.
Now, there's a cute story that you said to me. One day, you're in a office at Solomon, and the pay stubs or the payroll register was there.
Yeah, it was a rainy Monday in February, and we'd been working. You work probably 70-hour weeks there, so I'd been working a long time. And they had the old EDP payrolls with the green and white lines. They had the entire firm's payroll. So it started in those days with John Goodfriend, who made $8.4 million at that day, but
Down to the
lowest person. So what was interesting, though, there was no one in the firm who had made more than $100,000 who was under 29 years old. So as a 24-year-old, I'm looking at this and wondering if I could make 5 more years of these hours. So I decided to take a leave of absence. They had a program where you could take a so-called educational leave of absence.
And that was what, 1 or 2?
2 years.
2 years.
So I decided to do some traveling.
Now, you went traveling with your brother.
Yeah, I have a brother a year younger.
Now, where'd your brother go to undergraduate?
He went to Vassar.
So he went to Vassar. So we have the Williams graduate and we have the Vassar graduate. And what did your father at the time say about the two of you going traveling?
Not really sure. Don't really remember. But we bought one of those Pan Am World Passes. If you remember, in the day, they were $1,000. And as long as you kept going forward in longitude, you could keep going. So our first stop was South Africa. We flipped the coin. I wanted to go to South America. My brother wanted to do Africa. So we ended up in Johannesburg.
So you're in Johannesburg and you get involved with trading of Kruger rounds?
Well, rather than work as bartenders like a lot of people do and travel the
But
world.
you had the experience already.
My brother and I brought our resume and we decided to work in the stock market. So I worked as a stock analyst in a firm called Simpson Frankel. But my brother had a much more exciting job. He was trading Krugerrands for Investec, was the name of the bank.
So how long do you stay in South Africa now?
Because of the jobs, we stayed for about 2 years. Great work experience, and we were lucky enough to travel around most of Africa. It was a great experience.
And then how do you end up, you and your brother ending up in Hong Kong?
My brother was recruited by Deutsche Bank to trade gold. So he went over there, and I joined him for a period of time. I decided I didn't want to work because the jobs were 2-year commitments, so I was not necessarily getting homesick, but I just felt that it was time.
Now, you said to me during either the period, either when you were in South Africa or in Hong Kong, you started to dabble and learn a little bit about real estate.
Yeah, while I was in Johannesburg, I worked on a number of real estate companies, their reports and things like that, and learned a little bit about the development side of things, which was great. And I decided that was an area I was potentially interested in.
So you come back. What year is this when you're coming back?
1985.
1985. You're about
27.
27 years of age, and you were a Yonkers kid, even though you spent time in New England. How'd you end up in Danbury, Connecticut, finding a piece of land?
A friend of mine from college was looking at getting into real estate more from a financing standpoint because it was tax reform, if you remember. It's hard to remember how intense it was. There was integrated resources and a lot of these people doing these tax shelter deals. So we got into doing one particular project.
So you originally were going to do this deal as a tax shelter? Was that the...
It was originally. Actually, our time ran out, so it ended up being one of those deals that could stand on its own, thank God. But we bought a 40-acre private estate in Danbury and had it subdivided and built 36 homes.
How long did it take you to get involved from the beginning, from the inception to building the homes?
Well, the hardest part was negotiating the contract because everyone wanted to close. Time is of the essence and a lot of urgency. So we were out sort of getting our financing. And our lucky break was at that time, I don't know if you maybe remember, there were a number of banks, but one was called City Trust. And we went into the bank looking for a normal bank loan, and they offered us 100% financing.
That's one of the reasons City Trust is no longer in
Well,
business. Not for you.
Because of
No, because that's how they were very aggressive. They and the savings and loans at that time were giving 100% finance.
well, it was surprising as a young person who had never had a loan before to actually walk away from your first closing with
100.
money in your pocket. So fortunately, our project was successful. We picked, as in all real estate, it's always location and finding a good property that there's a good market for.
So what happens after that? Now you're a developer. It's in your DNA now to be a developer. What happens next?
Well, we tried right away, and we did a second deal with City Trust. We did one up in Fishkill, where we got a site approved to build some multifamily. And we started to follow IBM around. IBM was growing in leaps and bounds in those days. They had built, their headquarters was in Armonk, but then they had built a site in Somers. They had built another one in Southbury, Connecticut. They'd built a big site up in Fishkill, manufacturing operation. So we were building sort of residential and then some retail in these same communities.
Right, some strip shopping centers.
Strip shopping centers, things like that, which were needed because, in Somers they added 5,000 employees right off the highway. So, it was quite a need for those type of uses.
So now, you have the residential development, and now you're into the retail development. And is that when you meet your future partner, Lynn?
Well, yeah, Lynn Ward arrived in right around 1989. She had sold the Exxon building in New York at the end of tax reform,
Reform
sorry, and was looking to join a firm, and an independent firm like ours.
So is that when you start getting involved with the Publix and some of the other?
Well, we started to do more retail. Lynn's specialty was in retail. So we brought in Bessemer Trust as our partner. We did a shopping center with Bessemer and Somers, which was a good deal for both sides.
And after that?
After that, well, then we had a crash. I think the financial crash was, 1990, 1991?
Right. Now, you said to me at that time, you and Lynn you got involved with Michigan and in Florida, certain other developments?
Well, what we did actually is because there was such a pause in the real estate market, I think there was probably maybe a 3 or 4 year hiatus, so to speak. And fortunately, as we used to say, there were no heroes, only survivors. Because we had some good financial partners, we were able to hold our properties and survive, so to speak. We got into a business was called soil remediation and environmental cleanup with an asphalt company that we had known for many years.
Now, what do you mean by soil remediation?
Well, we took contaminated soil and they had an environmentally friendly cleanup process where what they would do is they'd heat the soil, and then they would take the gases and burn them at high temperatures and complied with the environmental cleanup standards of each area. What we found out is that all our customers wanted to either refinance or sell their properties. That's why we're doing the cleanup. So what we started to do in the early 90s is we started to buy properties that had some of these environmental contamination problems, and we were able to buy them at deep discounts. We bought an attractive shopping center in Florida, a public center from Hyperion, which was a Lou Ranieri company. A lot of the pools that we're buying from the RTC, et cetera, had a group of properties they'd call contaminated, and they weren't able to trade at the same prices. So we were teaming up with people and just buying the sort of the remnants, if you will.
Which had alleged contamination.
Well, some of the contamination wasn't as serious as
That's
people
right.
were led to believe. For instance, in Florida, dry cleaning contamination, almost every, because the water table was so high, any dry cleaning establishment would contaminate the water table. So
So how do you change your next phase of your life after the shopping centers?
well, what we did was in 1996, we raised a $100 million fund to buy a lot of these properties nationwide. So we started buying not only retail, but some office and other industrial sites that were contaminated.
Which were contaminated.
So that was our niche. And the breakthrough in that area was the insurance industry was now coming of age, and they were crafting products that could structure and help get the banks comfortable that if, in fact, there was a problem, that the insurance would kick in. So we were able to get bank loans. So the secret of that industry really was not that you could clean up a property, but rather you could finance properties that were basically frozen or paralyzed because no one would touch them. The legal profession, the banks, they wouldn't touch them. So adding liquidity was really where the success was in that area.
So how do you get back to your hometown of Yonkers later on?
Well, what we did when we did the fund is we were buying properties, a lot of them all over the country. That's why we named the company National Resources. But we found we had bought a very big site in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Lansing. We'd done about 15 shopping centers in Florida, Georgia. But we found that it was very difficult for us to add real value because a lot of them were redevelopment sites. And in order to do that, you really had to be part of the community and roll up your sleeves and sort of come up with sort of creative and innovative redevelopment plans, which wasn't easy when you were, an 8-hour plane flight.
So Yonkers, let's talk about Yonkers.
The Port Authority, probably in the 70s, had done 4 economic development projects. You may remember the one in Elizabeth that became the IKEA. There's one in the Bronx, and they had one up by another couple of them. But they had one in the former Otis Elevator in Yonkers, where they converted to manufacture the subway cars. And Kawasaki was the anchor tenant, and they were manufacturing subway cars for New York City. And we bought that property in right around 1999 from the Port Authority. It was about 40% occupied. It was a 20-acre site, maybe a 1.5 million square feet.
And there you put in, besides the Kawasaki, you put in the LA Fitness and other...
Well, not on that particular site, but there we were able to lease it up to a very eclectic mix. We brought in some biotech companies, some other manufacturers. They made medical devices. A company that makes lithium batteries is a recent tenant. And some of the city, the police have a 911, 311 in this particular site in Westchester County. So we were able to fill it up. We're about 95% leased there.
Then you took your roots to Long Island.
Well, one of our most notable deals is we bought the former Lockheed property in Lake Success in conjunction with Apollo. It was 93 acres, 1.5 million square feet. We bought it stone empty in the year 2000, and by 2006, we were fully leased, about 92% leased, and we financed the property at about $300 million.
And fast forward, we then go to Edgewater and back to Yonkers for residential.
We bought another site from Unilever. It was their World Research Headquarters in Edgewater, New Jersey, which is about 1/3 of a mile of waterfront. And it was a real redevelopment site. So it took us a number of years to work with the municipality, but we were able to come up with a great mixed-use project. We have about 600 units of residential for sale and rental, a Marriott Courtyard Hotel, 100,000 square feet of retail, and a great waterfront esplanade. We rebuilt the borough sort of town hall as well as the police station. So it's a real town center for that area, which is a great part of Bergen County.
And now let's go to Yonkers and Tarrytown.
In Tarrytown, we did a similar deal. We bought a old Penske manufacturing, or rather logistics site, and there was an asphalt plant and a few other sort of concrete heavy industry sites along the waterfront, about a half-mile of waterfront right at the Tarrytown train station. We transformed that into what's called Hudson Harbor. It's about a 400-unit residential, luxury residential housing with a great 1-mile riverfront park and walkway, which has been very successful.
And now you're planning to get involved with another residential, you said, in Yonkers also?
In Yonkers, we're currently building 100 micro units right at the train station. Our brand on our industrial sites is called iPark. So we have an iPark. We did one in Lake Success, one in Michigan, there's one in Yonkers, and we have one in Norwalk, Connecticut. But at Yonkers, there's a lot of growth in the downtown, right at the downtown
Right,
waterfront.
Anything with transit-oriented developments near the trains or big items.
Yeah, we're about a block from right at the train station. So we're building an 11-story. We call them micro units. They're only about 600 square feet each, but a lot of high ceilings. It should be an exciting project.
Let's talk a little bit about family. You said to me you had met your wife originally in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, I was lucky when I was in Oxford. I met Lydia, and she wouldn't give me the time of day in those days, but she ended up...
Lydia's from London?
She's an American, but she grew up in London most of her life. And I was lucky to meet her. She moved back to the States about 8 years later, so we were reintroduced. So.
And you have two children. You have one
daughter and a son, yes.
And the daughter is how old?
18, and son 17.
So, one thing is certain, that the kid who grew up in Astoria probably never expected that he'd be a world traveler, and, who's grown and built major communities and developments, especially in the Northeast. And I'm happy that you're my guest today.
Well, thank you very much.